Outlander, maybe you don't hear so good.
Favorite part of the whole movie.
We have your woman. You don't have shit. You're a tree branch. Okay. All right. I'm recording as of 1 minute and 20 seconds ago. And now it's time we do we got to do the thing. All right. You ready to do the thing?
Do it. 1, 2, 3. Romance.
Here we go. We're going to do the thing. Shawn's in his new house and he didn't shower.
I didn't shower, mowed the yard, did land stuff.
Tame the wilds. That's what he did.
I got new work boots, Richard. New work boots.
Is that the only time guys get excited by shoes? They're like, oh, new work boots. They go with everything.
Are those steel toe? Which, you know why they make steel toe? It's like not to protect your toes. It's so if something really, really heavy falls on it, it'll cut your toes off. Mm-hmm. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have steel toe. I wear steel toe when I'm at work.
Because you're around heavy equipment that could fall and cut your toes off.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So it's clean cut. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I don't know. The thought of like walking around with my foot, and then there's like all these like loose toes just like banging around on the inside.
Well, no, it'll
like
cut them completely off. Well, it'll cut them completely off, though. You won't even have toes anymore.
No, but they'll still be in the boot.
Oh, yeah, true. Would you get prosthetic toes?
Just like rattling around in there?
Yeah, you could leave them forever and they like start to decay and stuff, and then they would just be like a bone jar. It'd be like your version of a fidget spinner. It'd be a fidget shaker. But like if that happened, like, would you get prosthetic toes?
If you turn the boot like this, it sounds like rain.
Would you get prosthetic toes?
Probably not.
Okay. I didn't know if like we'd go somewhere and you'd be like, "Don't look at my feet, they're hideous."
But like that would throw my balance off.
I think so. You'd probably have to have something like your shoes.
Like tape a board to my foot.
You'd look like a Daffy Duck.
But then like you'd have to find like the perfect board. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to find like the perfect board because otherwise you're going to be like lopsided if you don't.
Well, there's got to be some give
like,
to it.
Oh my God, I only got a 1x2 and then just like tilt to the right.
But you know what? You'd be a great skier. Don't worry, boys. I'm ready. Kick off your boots.
It's okay. Just lock your foot down. Oh, no.
I still feel like they're there, even though they're not. Invisible toes are a real thing. I've heard that, yeah.
I bet you do. Like phantom toes. I bet you like you'd be like, oh, Mo, wiggle my phantom toes.
Well, it'd be one of those things like you. Like,
do you think if you orgasm, you would feel your toes curl?
I was gonna say like there's this like if you've ever like you've been really really into getting your toes sucked, but Amanda's like no, that is disgusting. But now she could be like, oh, I'm totally sucking it. And you're like, oh, I can feel it. I can feel it.
And then she's looking like Pac-Man down on the edge of the bed, like Pac-Man, like
Oh, you can fit it all in, babe. That's so hot.
Just like licking my stubs like a cat cleaning itself. That's gross. All right, we got to do the thing. Well, that's going to be in the intro. That's your cold open. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. And today, Shawn, we're going to talk about America.
Richard. Yeah. So, Richard, right now, I am fulfilling my American dream. Mm-hmm. I've recently moved out to the country. Right now, I'm on some land. I saw a deer the other night. I've got 2 possums that get on my deck and hang out and eat cat food. I've got 3 outdoor cats that I inherited from this house.
No, you can't have cats. You know what? Okay, side note. I don't know why, but for some reason, for the last 3 days, I have had a song stuck in my head, and I don't even know where I heard it. And I don't even know if I did hear it over the course of the last 3 days, but it just popped in there and now it won't go away. Do you know what the song is, Shawn? The song is There Ain't No Cats in America from the film masterpiece An American Tale.
I'm sure I've heard that song, but I don't remember.
You've never seen An American Tale. That's cinema gold, sir.
I've seen An American Tale. Five Goes West.
Oh,
I don't know if I've seen all of American Tale.
Oh my God. You know what? Like the animation in American Tale, better than Five Goes West, even though.
Really? Yeah. Five Goes West was kind of like we're cashing in on American Tale.
Oh my God. The animation in American Tale is chef's kiss good.
Yeah, it's kind of the same story though, right? Like they're in the first one, they're like, we got to go to America. Then they go to New York and like, this sucks. We got to go west.
Kind of. I mean, yeah, kind of. Oh, it's such.
Where are they from in the American Tale? Where they?
Russia or Poland?
Oh, okay. Oh, that would have been during the Cold War too, so that makes sense. Propaganda.
No, it would have been the Cold War. I think this was set in like the early 1900s.
Yeah, but American Tail came out in the 80s, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'd be like, Russia sucks, even in the 1900s. But no, Richard, so I'm in this new home. I got 3 cats, and I just want to talk to you about what I discovered about myself that isn't very...
Cats in America. Sorry.
That sounds like that should be like a punk song. There ain't no work in America.
Kind of.
Ain't no cats in America.
I'm really surprised that nobody hasn't yet now. There should be the Melvins should do it. That's who should do it.
You know where the cats are not in America.
Yeah,
I like that.
I could totally
do that later.
Or the Clash would crush it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Richard, so this house has something I've never used before and is not prevalent in America. Yeah, Richard, I discovered the pleasantries of a bidet.
Oh my God, I want one so bad.
Since you talked to me about that,
and you don't want to go back.
No, I want to. So this is not like any like product placement, but the brand that they have in this house is called a Tushy.
Yeah, and then you go to work and you use your fucking caveman toilet.
And I feel like a dirty hippie the whole day. It's like, I know there's poop particles down there, but no, this is Tushy's the brand. It's only like $99 for like their Tushy 2.0, or it's 1.0 maybe. They have an upscaled version. It's like $140, Richard.
Ooh, bougie.
You know what it does different?
What?
It's got warm water.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, Richard, it cleans that. I'm not sure how I'd feel about the warm water, but so I saw this thing there. When I first looked at it, I was like, man, like, I don't know. It seems like,
you know why?
I don't know.
I can tell you exactly why. Because for some reason, and I think it's just America. For some reason, anything involving like something going near our asshole is, I feel like you have an almost homophobic reaction to it.
But even like my mom and Tiffany and my sister were both like, oh, that's kind of weird.
No. Well, see, but that's what I'm saying, because it's something going near the booty hole. And so it feels, it feels taboo.
I could see, well, maybe a little bit, but I mean, you put your hand down there and like, you got to get some good finger action to get it clean.
Exactly.
So
I completely agree. Exactly. What's the fucking difference?
Yeah. Well, and so like me, I guess it was more like, what's it going to feel like? What's the pressure? Like, am I going to do it right? Like, what happens if I do it too hard and it comes out of my mouth? So
Tim, I'm using the bidet.
I had to. Shawn, did you turn on max pressure? I can't stop. I can't stop. Turn off the. But I had to investigate it first, right? So I'm looking at it, and it's got like a little knob that you turn one way or the other. It's got a little switch.
Been a fly on the wall watching you fucking figure this out. You're like beating it with a rock. You're like, You dumb fucking ape.
So I turn it one way just shoots water straight down. I'm like, well, that's not going to do anything. And so then I turn it the other way really quick, and Richard, right past my face, just a stream of water goes poof right onto the door.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intimidating. Like, this thing isn't like a little like
you're like, oh,
water.
Tushy came to play.
Babe, I'm going to be busy for the next 45 minutes. Close the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't sure, and I didn't do number 2 up there for like the first few days we were here. But after we kind of got stuff moved in on Saturday, I think it might have been before or after my shower. It was probably after my shower, because I'm like, man, I'm clean. This bidet is supposed to make you feel fresh below, right? So let me give this a shot.
Wait a
so
minute, you
do my
used
duty
it after you got out of the shower?
Well, it was like a couple of hours after the shower.
Okay. I was gonna say,
So,
like you got out of the shower. I'm like, well, what's the point?
Well, no. Like, I did my duty on the toilet.
Okay.
So there was duty action. Like, I didn't just hop on and be like, let me see how this ride works.
Let's give it a
so
test
I do my
run.
duty. So I do my duty. I'm sitting there, and my approach was I did a wipe first to kind of get like the most of it gone, right? And then I kicked it on. At first, I just did a little bit, right? Because I just wanted the tip, just wanted a little water tip. Turn a little bit, and I just not hitting my buddy.
The way you're even explaining it, you're like, it felt so wrong, but it felt so right, and I just wanted a little bit. So it started with a little bit. And then I just couldn't help myself. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, the way you're explaining it now, this is exactly why it's not widely used in the States.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you've never used one before. And like, I didn't want to do it too hard. And all of a sudden, like, I'm like pooping blood for a month because it shot straight up. Like, you got to like test these things out, right?
Design it to do that.
I don't know. But so I'm sitting there and I get it going. Nothing's happening. So I move the little switch button and all of a sudden, right on my booty hole. And I was like, whoo, turn the pressure up a little bit. Woo. And like, it just made me feel like so fresh and clean. Right? Like it just takes everything out.
Yeah.
You wipe the water out so you're nice and dry on your booty hole. Mm-hmm. And then you feel fresh. And I went down and I told every single family member, Richard, I went, hey, I just used the bidet upstairs. And I'm telling you this, I'm a changed person.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom looked at me weird. My sister looked at me weird. My dad, he always looks at me weird, but he looked at me even weirder.
My dad got
and
the
Tiffany
car
even looked at me weird. He hasn't talked to me since. No. And so Tiffany was still kind of like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. Well, it's because I didn't wear pants when I came down. Like, guys, look, it's so clean.
And they're like, oh my God, he's Donald Ducking it. Why?
I mean, it is his house.
Is he asserting dominance?
But the story
I feel like he's asserting dominance.
Oh, not with that thing. He's not. But Tiffany was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. And so I was like, you got to try it. Like, it's legit. Like, it made me feel so fresh and clean.
You're
so
like,
I get a text at work.
Go near it. Am I right? And she's like, what do you mean?
Richard,
and you're like, nothing.
That's the problem. What's the problem? Nothing. So I get a text from her at work and she says, hey, I use the bidet. And she says it actually, like, I like it too. But she said that the thing that happened is she was inspecting it first as well. And she shot the same bathroom door with it.
I thought you were going to be like, and that got her in the face. And then you're like,
no.
Oh, how's that feel?
Like something should go on your face. Like what? Nothing. That's the problem. But Richard, I'm just saying that
I do.
On the face and in the back door. But Richard, that's been like the most, probably the coolest thing I've seen so far in this new house is I get a bidet, and it makes me feel like I'm king of the castle.
There are times where, I know that I am an old person, and there are times where you probably know you're an old person. When you spend 20 minutes talking about you now have a bidet and how wonderful it is. That's when I know that we are both old people.
It is. Well, we're trying to normalize bidets. I'm telling everybody right now, if you're on,
I completely agree. We totally should.
Yeah.
There should be a bidet in every American home.
Yeah. Well, and this tushy thing too, like I know in like foreign countries, like the bidet is like a separate thing, right? Like, or is it more common?
Yeah, a lot of places, yeah, there's a toilet and then there's a bidet.
Yeah, but like this, it just hooks into your toilet and it's just got a little nozzle sticking out to shoot water at your butthole and clean you up. Like, I want to get these tushies for everybody. My mom and dad's getting one for Christmas. Tiffany's folks is getting one for Christmas.
I'm getting
You're
one
getting
for
one for
Christmas.
Christmas.
I knew it. Yep.
Yep.
You know what? And I'd be excited. I will be excited.
Well, yeah. Everybody else would be like, I don't know. And they're going to install it and have it sitting there looking at them for like weeks at a time. And they're going to go number 2 and they're like, oh, I'm not ready. And then, Richard, what's going to happen is they're going to use it. They're going to be like, why haven't I been using this in my entire life? Mm-hmm. Oh,
like,
Richard,
right,
that's a great idea.
Today is the day.
Light some candles.
Yeah.
If
loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, get a tushy. Like $99. That's pretty cheap.
It is pretty cheap.
Yep. And it doesn't use like the water in the toilet. It hooks into the hose, so it's clean water.
Nice.
Yeah. I
like it. So back to the topic. Well, actually, no, it kind of ties into the topic of America. That's one thing that America needs. I learned that there was at one time there was a thing that America had, but no longer has. And I know what you're thinking of right now. You're probably thinking of a lot of things. Be like things that America doesn't have anymore. Common sense. Decorum in public spaces. I mean, like the list goes on. Am I right? But no, I am not talking about any of those things, Shawn. Today, Shawn, I'm going to tell you about a man who was born to rule.
Ja Rule?
No.
Are we talking about the Firefest? Oh.
I am not talking about Firefest. The man I am talking about is Joshua Abraham Norton.
All right. He's got Joshua from the Bible. He's got Abraham, great president. And he's got Norton, virus protection.
And
sounds like our savior.
A great actor.
Edward Norton?
Yeah, Ed Norton.
I've heard he's kind of a dickhead, isn't he?
I'm sure he is. He's probably a bit of an asshole. But
yeah. But I mean, like, throw a rock in Hollywood and you hit an asshole that's probably never used a bidet.
That's true. Or as the title that he went by, Joshua Norton, Emperor of America.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So the story of Emperor Norton goes way back to 1818.
All right. So this would have been America was established. This was after 1776.
Right.
We told the British to F off. This was 18 what?
1818.
What was the 1800 war? The War of 1812? So this was after that?
Correct.
So that's when we told the British to F off a second time?
Yep. Ironically enough, Joshua Abraham Norton was born in London in 1818.
Well, how did he get over here then?
At the age of 2, he moved with his parents to South Africa. In South Africa, his dad set up a successful ship supplies business.
What do you do? A little import, a little export?
Yeah, a little this, a little that, you know.
Ask a few more questions, see what happens. You might land in that ocean out there. You know what's out there? Sharks.
Exactly. Right off the coast of South Africa. At the age of 21, with the help from his father, he opened his own ship supply business, but it went bankrupt within 18 months.
Oof. Do you think Dad was proud of him? Oh, Dad, you're supposed to charge people. I'm a terrible businessman.
Well, they get all the supplies on the ship, and then I'm like, okay, that'll be, hey, wait. And then the ship sails off. Oh, I missed
How many times that happened? How many times that happened, Josh? Well, I've been doing this for 18 months.
So
There's been ships
all
leaving
of them, all of the times.
I get about 15 ships a month, Dad. What's 18 plus 15? God damn it, Josh. It'd be times 15.
Right. That's what I meant. Things went from bad to worse over the next few years. And by 1848, both of Norton's parents and his two siblings had died.
Well, that was like 20 years later. I mean, he would have been in his mid-40s.
Well, okay. No, 1818. So by 1838, he was 21. That's when his business closed.
Oh, okay.
So we're 1838. And then, so over the course of the next 7 years, both his parents and his two siblings has died. The following year,
that's sad.
Norton left South Africa, and after a short stop in South America, he landed in San Francisco in late 1849.
You think he showed up and was like, everyone, I'm the San Francisco treat, dong dong.
That's exactly what he said.
That's not a good nickname. I need to work on my nickname.
Norton arrived in a lawless, Wild West version of San Francisco. The gold rush transformed a small town of a few hundred people into a bustling metropolis of 25,000 within a few years. It was also a town of constant rebirth. People were making and losing fortunes in the blink of an eye. The city was almost destroyed by fire 7 times between 1849 and 1851.
So when did he show? Because 49 was when the gold rush happened.
Yeah,
that's what
that's
the
when
San
he
Francisco
shows up.
Oh, okay.
He shows up. So he lands in San Francisco in 1849.
So he's like, hey, this would be a great name for a football team. And everybody's like, we fucking hate soccer.
Norton, who had already built and lost a business in South Africa, fit right into this boom and bust town. He established himself as a successful businessman selling commodities like rice and flour. He invested in real estate, erecting buildings on 3 of the 4 corners of Sansom and Jackson Streets, one of the most popular intersections in town, plus plots in North Beach and a lucrative waterfront property.
So I wonder if he got a bunch of money from when his dad died. Like he sold that business?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure he probably. I doubt he showed up like flat broke.
Yeah, because if you could, like, honestly, if you could have shown up flat broke in 1849 and gone to a bank, it's like, hey, I want money to build business, and they're like, that sounds like a great idea. Here, I'm really upset with my ancestors. One,
and they're like, what's that accent? And you're like, he's like, I'm from South Africa, and they're like, I don't know where that is. Stamp. Here's a bag of money.
Oh, it's even got the money stamp on it.
So he's selling rice and flour like as commodities, and then he uses that money to buy real estate, and now he's making money off of the real estate on top of the commodities trading. He made a great amount of money and was very influential. He was in with all the right people, attended all the right clubs and the right restaurants. Riding high, Norton planned his next business move. With a rice famine underway in China, Norton was presented with a chance to corner the rice market by buying up a shipload of Peruvian rice.
So I guess we were just rice was just an import at that point, right?
Yeah, because we weren't growing rice in.
Do we grow rice now in the States, or is it all still imported?
Possibly down south. I could see it. I honestly
Because it takes kind of like a swampy, humid environment.
Yeah. Expecting rice prices to soar, Norton went in with a couple of business partners in 1852 and staked $25,000 on the venture.
Ooh, how much is that in today's money?
I have no idea, but I'm sure it was probably a lot. But Shawn, and I'm sure you already know this, but it all went wrong.
Oh, how much was that? 25,000.
Yeah.
So that would be $875,000 in today's money.
Ooh.
So just shy of $1 million.
Within a few days, ship after ship after ship of rice comes in, so the bottom falls out of the market. This idea, which at one point seemed so great, now isn't so great.
Oh, now he's got all this rice and he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, now he's got a shipload, a literal shipload of rice, and he put all this money in on it, and now he's fucked. Because
is he like, maybe if I take all this and throw in some marshmallows, I can have a tasty treat?
The deal and subsequent years of legal wrangling ruined Norton. By the time Norton was 38 in 1856, he was bankrupt for the second time.
No dad or mom around either to help him out this time, it sounds like.
Yeah. And imagine like falling like that far, like at the point, like you have enough money that you can put in almost $1 million on like a business venture. And then it all just fucking falls apart. Like not only does the venture fall apart, but like your real estate thing falls apart and your your business falls apart. Like fuck, man.
I haven't looked. I know like there's a statistic that like 7 out of 10 businesses fail. And I've heard like a lot of the people that end up being like very successful, like have multiple businesses that they end up going bankrupt or something because they just takes them so long to find what actually is successful.
Yeah. Which
is kind of kudos to people that do that. Cause like if I went bankrupt once, I'd be like, nope, I'm going to do the safest thing possible.
Yeah. After his financial ruin, Norton went quiet for a few years. He moved out of his prestigious home and fell out of favor with some members of the social elite. He reemerged on September 17th, 1859, on the pages of the San Francisco Evening Bulletin newspaper. Earlier in the day, he had walked into the paper's offices and presented the editor with a short notice he asked to have published in that day's edition.
He's like, somebody please lend me some electricity and a toaster.
And a bathtub.
Or an extension cord, and I'll just jump in the bay.
The notice said, you ready for this, Shawn? Here's what the notice said. At the peremptory request of a large majority of citizens of these United States, I, Joshua Norton, formerly of Algola Bay, Cape of Good Hope, and now for the last 9 years and 10 months past of San Francisco, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States.
Well, he learned, he's like, all you have to do to declare bankruptcy is just say, I declare bankruptcy. And he's like, maybe I'll just try it with being an emperor. I declare I am emperor.
At age 41, 3 years after losing everything, Norton christened himself Emperor of the United States. When France Napoleon III invaded Mexico in 1861, Norton added Protector of Mexico to his imperial title.
Wait, did you say Francis Napoleon?
Napoleon III. And because Napoleon, when Napoleon III invaded Mexico in 1861, he also, so he's the Emperor of the United States, but he also declared himself like as an add-on to his title. He called himself the Protector of Mexico.
Yeah, but you said Napoleon. That's not like any relation to Napoleon
Bonaparte.
The Napoleon
No.
from okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
That was just gonna blow my mind for like, yeah, France invaded Mexico. I'm like, they did what?
No, I think that happened. See, now I got to look that up.
That just seems like way out of their way.
1861 to 1867. Yeah, the Emperor Napoleon III invaded Mexico on a pretext that Mexico had refused to pay its foreign debt.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Came to be known as the Second French Intervention in Mexico. But not if Emperor Joshua Norton had anything to say about it.
Josh was like, nope, not on my watch, Napoleon III.
There are no sure answers about Norton's mental health before or after his imperial declaration, but some people think his money troubles led him into a deep depression and that becoming Emperor Norton was a coping mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, you want to aim for the stars. Was it? You want to shoot for the moon because even if you miss, you're with the stars.
In his declaration that he gave to the newspaper, Norton called on representatives of all states to assemble the following February to establish his empire and quote, to make such alterations in the existing laws of the Union to ameliorate the evils under which this country is laboring.
Richard, don't tell me this guy got like in front of Congress and they actually humored him.
No, but nobody.
Okay, good.
Nobody showed up to his
declaration party,
to his assembly.
He showed up. It's like me at every one of my birthday parties. I show up with a birthday hat and I'm like, I declare myself the sad birthday boy.
But you know what? That didn't stop him. He had declared himself emperor and he was going to act like an emperor. You ready for this? For the next 20 years.
Walk like an emperor.
Yeah. 20
Man,
years.
20. So he was 40 when he did this.
Yeah.
So he did this up until the age of his 60s.
Yeah.
Man, that's sticking to the bit.
Also, like, this would have been up until 1881.
So this is a dude that, like, if professional wrestling was around, like, he'd probably be legit. He's like, you know what? I'm Emperor Norton in America's mind. He'd be a heel. Because he'd be like, United States sucks. You should all be my peasants.
Norton used the paper, the newspaper, to issue imperial proclamations. And I have some of those proclamations. I have a little list here.
You know what's scary is there's probably somebody that read that paper and read his proclamations and like actually went through with them because like, well, he's emperor. Don't want to make you mad. He'll be like, off with my head. And then guess what? My body's getting rolled into the San Francisco Bay. You know what's in the San Francisco Bay, Richard?
Fish.
And sharks.
I get it. There's sharks everywhere. There's sharks everywhere, Sean.
There's great white sharks.
There's sharks everywhere.
There was going to be Jaws 5, and it was going to take place in San Francisco.
I knew it.
And there's going to be 5 great white sharks.
Many of the decrees attributed by Norton were actually fake and written in jest by newspaper editors at the time for amusement or for
nice
or for political purposes.
So it's kind of like satire, or satire.
So here is a list of some of those declarations. I think I've got quite a few here. February 1st, 1860, he orders the representatives of different states to assemble at Platt's Music Hall to change laws I already said that one. Then in July of that year, he officially dissolves the United States of America.
So he says it is no more.
By imperial decree.
So is he just making it one like state that he runs, or does he just like separating it out and giving away pieces?
I'm not sure what he's doing.
This seems like a dude that could probably have made money if he sold the United States. Like that's what he should have done.
Like
he should have went to France.
Be like, who
went to France.
Maybe that's why states are called what they're called. Like maybe he sold 2 states to somebody named Dakota.
Could be. I wonder, he probably was like going back and be like, hey, you know that Louisiana purchase? Do you want to get that back? Like, I'll make you a deal.
Yeah. He's like, look at this. You can fit so many people in here. It's like a used car salesman just shucking out land.
What am I going to do with this big hole? Well, it's a grand hole, isn't it? You could bring people out here, charge them tons of money.
In October, he barred Congress from meeting in Washington, D.C.
Oh, well, what'd they do since they couldn't meet?
Well, I assume they would have to meet him at Platt's Music Hall in order to discuss that. Because my guess is that is where he held court.
Yeah, that's expensive. You got to get everybody from all over the country all the way to San Francisco.
In In February of 1861, he changed the place of his national convention to Assembly Hall because Platt's Music Hall had burned down to the ground.
Oh, that's sad. He didn't take that as like a sign from God that he should stop.
Perhaps his most well-known proclamations were the ones calling for the construction of a bridge connecting Oakland and San Francisco through Yerba Buena Island. What we recognize today as the Bay Bridge.
Oh, okay. Not the Golden Gate Bridge.
No, Bay Bridge. I've driven across Bay Bridge.
Is it big?
It's pretty big. It's like an 8-lane fucking bridge.
Damn. Well, I know, like, I imagine with that one too, but like the Golden State Bridge, I read that they actually have to paint it basically year round. So what they do is they start from one side and paint it because it rusts, and that keeps it from rusting. By the time they get all the way across, it's time to do the other side. So somebody's, like, a group of people's job, all it is just to paint that bridge.
Damn.
Every single day, all around.
Norton also adopted an imperial wardrobe. He started with either a blue or gray military jacket, switching between the two early in his reign to maintain his neutrality in the ongoing Civil War.
I always find it kind of sad when dictators take on like general statuses without actually earning it.
He's not doing that. Sometimes he's wearing gray and sometimes he's wearing blue because he doesn't want to pick sides.
Was this? I always forget when the Civil War was. It had been around that time, right?
Like 1864
to 1870s,
something like that. Yeah. After the war, he settled on a blue officer's jacket furnished with large fringed golden shoulder like Custer, like, you know, those military, like the uniform that Custer wore with like the gold on the shoulders and stuff. Being emperor did not, however, pay very well. Norton spent most of his reign subsisting off of the generosity of the public and the support of a few wealthy friends from his high society days.
Yeah, you know what happened when he died and he saw his dad in the afterlife? His dad's like, you know what you're supposed to do, dumbass, as emperor? He's like, what? You're supposed to tax your peasants. You're supposed to tax your citizens. Oh, I just thought I'd let him.
I am
they
emperor,
showed up
and I claim the right to your couch.
Yeah, they showed up and I was like, hey, great. And they started walking away. Wait, you're supposed to be taxed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're already away.
I also claim the right of prima nocta. Bring me your wife. His balding head was almost always covered with a hat, most often a small military hat or a beaver fur top hat with a cascade of colorful feathers pinned to the front.
Oh, I wish we would bring back like beaver and like raccoon hats, like Davy Crockett style.
Like we all look like Daniel Boone.
Yeah. We all carry around muskets. Richard, I'm one with the land now, so I'm really getting into that.
Jesus. You're not, Shawn, you use a bidet. You are not one with the land.
Davy Crockett shows up like, oh, this is a great piece of land. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, do you want to see my new work boots and my bidet? Washed his butt when he was 33.
In 1870, with the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad bringing more tourists from San Francisco from across the country, Norton helped fill his coffers by selling, quote, imperial bonds for 50 cents each.
So he was a beggar, kind of thing.
No, he wasn't a beggar. He was selling his currency. That's actually, he wasn't selling his currency. He was holding a currency exchange where you got Emperor Norton imperial bonds and then you had to give him 50 cents.
Yeah, he's like, no, I know you're here with your family and you want to see the star, but like, here, listen, just take this piece of paper. It's my bond. It's only 50. No, all right, I'll give it to you for a quarter. All right, 15 cents. Just take it. Just take it.
So
you owe me
somebody
later.
Walks up and they're like, here's 75 cents. And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, 1 million imperial dollars.
Hey, you want to hold on to that. It's going to be worth something someday.
Imperial dollars.
You're going to be so wealthy when I take over.
Where's some? I have some other of his proclamations. In October of 1863, he announced the death of the death of Lazarus, which was his dog. So Emperor Joshua Norton and his trusty servant Lazarus.
Today, my citizens, will be a day of mourning for Lazarus. Wait, guys, I said no, not.
He asked for.
You're not listening to me.
And it's just people sticking fingers in their mouths doing finger pops. Yeah, 21 gun salute.
It's going to take a while. Do I really have to do all 21? It's kind of gross.
He arrived in Maryville in February of 1864 to join the celebration of the opening of the Transcontinental Railroad. In 1865, there was a companion of Lazarus named Bummer. Mark Twain wrote an epitaph for Bummer, longtime companion of Lazarus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, of Lazarus or of the Emperor?
Lazarus. We're only at 1865, Shawn.
Yeah, but he said his companion. It was a companion for the dog or a companion for him?
Companion for the dog. The longtime companion of Lazarus. Lazarus was the dog.
And who was Bummer?
I'm not exactly sure who Bummer was.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Bummer was a companion for Lazarus.
In 1867, Shawn, an overzealous patrol special officer, Armand Barber, arrested His Majesty Norton I for involuntary treatment of a mental disorder and thereby created a major civic uproar.
Uh-oh. It's like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm the Emperor of the United States.
Here, will you take a bribe? 1 million Lazarus dollars. I changed it. It's Lazarus bucks now. You can call them Lazzies. How many Lazzies will this take?
I miss my dog.
Police Chief Patrick Crowley apologized to His Majesty and ordered him released.
Oh, shit. I bet he got bribed with some Lazarus bucks.
Several scathing newspaper editorials followed the arrest. All police officers began to salute His Majesty when he passed them on the street.
Well, now you're just humoring him. Now, this is how the power begins. He's like, well, maybe if I got this, I can run for Senate and get power that way.
In 1869,
Summer of Love.
Decree from Emperor Norton I that San Franciscans advance money to Frederick Marriott for his experiments on something called an airship. See, he's fostering innovation in his empire.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I've got this briefcase of Lazarus dollars so you can start your airship stuff.
How would you like an advance on your research? I will fully fund this.
I just think you should call it Emperor Airs.
How would you say to a gajillion Lazarus dollars?
How much is that worth in like American? How about $1.50?
In August of 1869, there's a decree that dissolved and abolished the Democratic and Republican parties because of party strife now existing within our realm.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was against the two-party system.
Yep.
Because he was for a one-party system.
He didn't need much money. His lodgings on Commercial Street cost him only 50 cents a night, and he spent most of his day reading the newspapers, talking with other 49ers in Portsmouth Square, and writing proclamations at the Mechanics Institute Library on Post Street. For lunch, Norton could go to almost any tavern in town for the price of a drink, no more than 25 cents, and get access to a full lunch spread of salmon, roast beef, tomatoes, and more.
Wow. For a quarter? Or is that just for the drink?
No, for the whole thing. For the whole spread. He's eating like a king. I mean, he's eating like he should because he's the emperor. For the small price of a quarter.
That's so $1 in 1870 is $20 today. So that would be about $5. So that's not terrible. I mean,
$5 he gets a full spread, like a full lunch spread.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's salmon and roast beef. I mean, you can get a full meal for $5. Nothing like that, but
That's like
I
going
would-
to like a buffet.
yeah. And usually they're about $10 or $11.
Um,
But is that salmon and roast beef really good though? Like you'd have to wonder.
He goes to political meetings. He goes to the theater. He goes to the saloons. He makes himself a public presence. He's in the streets. The city's newspaper saw Norton as a bit of a buffoon and regularly published fake proclamations. So in 1870, he started publishing his genuine proclamations almost exclusively in an African-American owned and operated abolitionist weekly known as the Pacific Appeal.
Oh, cool.
Many of Norton's proclamations, especially those in the Pacific Appeal, were surprisingly progressive for his time. He's talking about how African Americans should have the right to attend public schools, ride streetcars, how Chinese immigrants should be able to have their testimony heard in court. Norton also,
He's like, everybody should use a bidet.
Norton also argued for the rights of Native Americans and against political corruption. So he's making himself into an early champion of the values of fairness and tolerance and the common good that really later become a great symbol of San Francisco.
Nice. Do you think he kind of thought that because he came from South Africa? Like he was exposed to that culture a little bit?
Maybe. That's entirely possible. Although, okay, but if we're talking about South Africa, like South Africa is way wider than you think it is.
No, I know it is. I don't remember. I don't know what year it started doing that.
Like the English were pretty much colonized South Africa.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he was there too. But he could have seen some of the atrocities there firsthand and didn't agree with them. Because technically he was an immigrant to the States too.
Let's see. I got some other proclamations here. In 1869, he left San Francisco to seek his yearly tribute from the legislature and lobbyists. He inspected a new capitol during the gala ball celebrating the buildings. Oh, he inspected the new Capitol building. Now, the Capitol building that you and I know today. He inspected the Capitol building during the gala ball celebrating the building's inauguration. So he was there during the inauguration of the building.
He's like, I'm here for official business, and I'm going to make if I don't like this, it's not going up. We're going to tear it down. So it's a good thing he liked it.
I
said my face should be on it.
Where's my statue?
Where's Lazarus?
In 1870, Norton was listed by the census taker with the occupation of emperor. So according to the U.S. Census, his official occupation was that of emperor.
What's that tax rate like?
I don't know.
10 gajillion Lazarus bucks.
In September of 1870, there's a decree that the Grand Hotel furnish him rooms under the penalty of being banished. It's like, listen, I need a bed or else I will expel you from my kingdom, my empire, and Mexico, because I protect that too. I'm the protector of Mexico. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I defeated Napoleon. He's no longer there.
September of 1872, Norton ordered a survey to determine if a bridge or tunnel would be the best possible means to connect Oakland and San Francisco. He also ordered the arrest of the Board of Supervisors for ignoring his decrees. I don't know if anything came of that.
Well, I mean, the police salute him, so technically I think they're police of the majesty, so shouldn't they have gone and arrested him? If he decreed it, it should be
That's a good
law.
point. I mean, they're saluting him.
Yeah. They've basically all but made this official.
Let's see. January. Okay, so now, Shawn, we're January 8th, 1880. Was a cold and rainy night in San Francisco. Norton, the emperor, left his room on Commercial Street to walk the few short blocks to a debate at the Academy of Natural Sciences. On his way there, he collapsed in the street and he died. of a suspected stroke.
God save the king. But God didn't. Struck him down.
10,000 people came to Norton's funeral.
Shit, this dude is a cult leader.
The headline of his obituary in the San Francisco Chronicle read, "Le Roi est mort." The king is dead.
You know what it was? Everybody showed up and was like, hey, I got this thing for 10,000 Lazarus bucks. Who's paying me for this now that this fucker's dead? I was told I'd be rich.
The Morning Call, the headline read, "Norton I, by the grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, has departed this life."
Damn. Is this like the first viral like person ever? Like this seems like if this dude was around now, like he'd be a TikTok star.
Probably. Norton died with just a few dollars in his pockets and would have been sent to a pauper's grave if not for the intercession of his old friends in business who paid for a fancy rosewood coffin adorned with silver and a burial plot in the Masonic cemetery.
Damn. This is like the dude that made that one movie, The Window or the Door. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot. Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. Feels like that kind of guy.
I mean,
like with connections that you don't know why.
But the difference is that like fucking Tommy Wiseau has money and nobody knows where he got the money from, but like he has
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like he has money, like the fucking like the movies, like that's all on him. Like he actually like if you go and purchase a copy of The Room, like if you go like online to purchase, like he owns that movie, like he owns everything on that movie because it's completely self-funded.
Yeah, I knew it was. Because when like they'd be like, "Hey, we need 10 grand for this," and he'd go away for a couple of days and come back with 10 grand in cash.
Even though often in the official world of journalism or politics, he was somewhat seen as a figure of ridicule to the people in the streets who saw him on a day-to-day basis for 20 years, he was known as a very kind person.
Well, that's good. Oh, like you said, he seemed pretty progressive.
Yeah. So to bring it to give you a little present day here, in 2013, a person named the name is hang on, I gotta dig around for the name. Jacob. No, that's not it. Looking for the name. I can't find the name. It's not really that important, but in 2013, someone started a campaign to get the Bay Bridge renamed for Emperor Norton.
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, it makes sense. He was the one that kind of pushed for it.
In recognition of him publishing the idea decades before it came to be, the Board of Supervisors designated February 2018 as Emperor Norton Month, and City Hall and Coit Tower were lit up gold on February 4th, 2018 in honor of Norton's 200th birthday.
Oh, he's like, look at me, Dad. Aren't you proud now, Dad?
Let's see. Guests came dressed in 19th century finest, from Wild West leather chaps to Victorian dresses to honor Norton. There's a story here about somebody that came all the way from Japan to attend the party. Let's see. You have so many presidents, but no emperor in history, but people admire him as an emperor. So yeah, according to San Francisco, we had an emperor. We had an emperor of America.
That's kind of like, I mean, it's one of those things like you always hope that at some point way in the future, people remember you. And like this dude's probably wildest dreams, like on his 200th birthday, he probably never thought that people would remember him.
In 1934, Edward Norton I was reburied in Woodlawn Cemetery by the citizens of San Francisco. And in 1980, the city marked the 100th anniversary of his death, of the death of its only monarch, Emperor Norton, with a lunch hour ceremony at Market and Montgomery Streets. So, yeah.
So did he have any kids or anything like that?
He did not. Not that I found. It doesn't.
Oof, that was the problem. He should have had.
Yeah, didn't have any heirs.
Because I feel like he'd be the person, even if he only had a daughter, he'd be like, well, she's the queen of America. Deal with it. That's kind of a good story. Like it wasn't as,
you know what? Like you would think that like, you know, just a guy that's like, I'm fucking emperor, and then he says all this shit, and you're thinking like, oh, this like you feel kind of bad. You're like, oh, this probably just some crazy guy, and I bet everybody treated him like shit, and like he probably like died fucking penniless. But no, it looks like he actually had a pretty good life. You know?
Yeah, I mean, people humored him, but then also they were kind of like, well, I mean, he's got some good ideas.
Yeah, like he's like, well, I mean, and you know. They did humor him. I mean, you know, like they're like, yeah, you know, like give me a quarter. Like, yeah, sure, you can have this full fucking lunch. And, you know, the police are like, oh, it's the emperor, you know, like, yeah, there was some humoring him a little bit, but like, it's not like he didn't like, you know, try to like rouse police forces to go and like fucking, you know, like we're going to storm Washington, D.C. And, you know, like he wasn't like that. He's just, he published shit in the paper. He's like, hey, you know, like, maybe like we're all let's all hang out and be cool, and you know, let's build bridges and be nice to people. Yeah, let's build bridges and you know, let everybody go to school and be fucking cool and hip.
Yeah, and do my bidding. I mean, because I am emperor.
I am emperor, by the way. You should listen to me because I'm emperor.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Like I was gonna say, like I thought the story was gonna be like he'd either be like a complete douchebag kind of thing or like super crazy and violent, but no, he was just like, no, this is just what I am.
Yep.
Like I said, TikTok star back in 1869.
And he just hung out. And everybody liked him.
Yeah. Like this is a story like afterwards I don't feel like I need a bidet. And like I feel good and clean as is.
Exactly. And he doesn't come off like, I mean, he comes off a little crazy just on the, you know, on the face of declaring yourself emperor, but he doesn't come off like stupid.
No. Yeah. Like it's crazy, like you'd feel okay being like a group with him, but not like crazy. He's like crazy enough that you don't really want to be in a room by yourself.
Yeah, and he's like, we should build airships and bridges, and I like it.
Yeah, man, before his time. Yeah, if he lived now, he's like, we should go to the moon. And he's like, here's 10 gazillion. Like this is Elon Musk back in 1869.
Let's go to Mars. Here's 80 gajillion Brazilian Norton dollars.
Listen, I want to do all of this just so I can die and be buried in Mars. But good story, Richard. Like, so I guess with this, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts to kind of tidy it up?
You know what? You are. Here's how you wrap this up. You say, you are what you make of yourself, and you are what you value yourself to be. If you are, you know, just a guy with a bidet, then that's all you are. But if you are an emperor, then you need to be an emperor. And if you are, and you rule justly, and you rule with a kind heart, then people will follow. 10,000 people will attend your funeral.
Yeah, no, how many people have 10,000 people at their funeral? Not many.
Exactly.
I like it. Well, Richard, I've got to get this house cleaned up because my bidet was spraying all over the place because I was trying to figure it out. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And we always like to thank the king and queen that we know, Wendy and Aaron, for sponsoring the show. Thank you guys so much.
Mm-hmm. You're the emperor of our hearts.
Oh, yes. Love it.
And I'll be expecting a check for 80 gajillion Wendy and Aaron dollars.
Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, we're good. We're good here. Let's land this bird.
All right. Well, that's all the Bromance have for the show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not.
Why not be an emperor?
Yeah, well, I was going to say we could have said Wendy and Aaron are the bridge to our hearts. Because he made a bridge.
Oh.
That connected two cities.
I mean, he didn't fucking... he wasn't putting a hammer to a nail. He's an emperor, for God's sake.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, I've got work boots and a bidet now. Do you really think I'm putting a hammer to anything?